What's up to Lion Talk Live? So we love you too, buddy.
What's going on, guys? It is Aiden Hutchinson.
What's up, everybody? It's Calvin Johnson Jr. here, a.k.a. Megatron, a.k.a. First Ballot.
What's up, man? It's your boy Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live, Coach Dan, by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
I love nothing more than watching Lions Talk Live every morning. Woo!
Woo!
Well, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I am your host, once again, Dan Thornton. Yes, I do have to sometimes check and make sure the mute isn't on. Hey, welcome to Lions Talk Live Morning Show Edition, and I got a question for you guys all. Do you still believe in this team? Do you believe in what they're doing? Do you believe that we're going in the right direction? As we all know, the Lions have 2 games left on their regular season schedule. Yes, it is still possible to make in the playoffs. We'll have to wait and see what shakes out. You got to win both these games. Hope the Packers lose out, then you get in. As you can tell for the main thumbnail for today's show, though, there's a bigger question in play after these 2 games. Will Dave Montgomery be traded? There was kind of an Instagram, I think it was on Snapchat as well, photo he put up yesterday suggesting, sort of, that maybe this would be his final stretch with the Detroit Lions. Is it possible the less than often used running back will request a trade this offseason? Let's break this on down and what it means for the team. And will there be others who will request the same thing? Dave Montgomery, I think we all get it. He's one heck of a running back, powerful in the running game. Yes, he can catch it. He may not be the most explosive when it comes to speed running back, but he's not slow by any stretch of the imagination. Dave Montgomery is a part of this team and a part of the grit, the character, the force, the will, whatever you want to throw out there. He's a big factor. This year, though, hasn't been like last year. Last year, he was the starting back, kind of, tenderize the opposing defensive line, and then the Lions would rotate in Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs, all-pro running back, all-world running back, setting records across the NFL. Nobody ever anticipated when he was drafted 12th overall. And I think that's the crux of the situation. If you're MCDC, if you're whoever else in control of the team, Brad Holmes, what do you do with the 2-headed monster you have? They both want to be out on the field. They both are very good running backs. Dave Montgomery, though, is starting to get a little bit older. Price tag for him is starting to go up. Gibbs is going to get a contract extension probably pretty soon here, and it is probably going to be a pretty hefty one. And that's part of the problem with having so many weapons on the offensive side of the ball. You probably can't make them all happy. Some of you would point out that Jameson Williams' ascension this year is partially because Sam Laporta hasn't been around in a minute because of his back injury and the surgery. So that's given him more opportunities. Gibbs has set all sorts of records, supplanted Barry Sanders. Let that sink in as far as what he's done as a running back in the National Football League over his first X amount of years. You guys all know the story. Fastest running back under the age of 24 to ever do this, that, and the other thing. So what do you do with Dave Montgomery if you think Gibbs is the man? That's part of running the team, part of balancing the cap. We all also understand that the Detroit Lions are trying to keep as much of this year's cap, and they have kept that much money to apply to next year's cap. Whole lot of things that are going to happen this offseason, whether the Lions make the playoffs or don't make the playoffs. Dave Montgomery, though, he believes in himself. He believes in this team. He believes that maybe this could be his final stretch with the Lions before requesting a trade or being outright released. Do Crew, what would you do with this situation? I know a lot of you guys really love Dave Montgomery. I don't dislike him at all. I'm just saying, what should the Detroit Lions do? Because you can't pay everybody. Yes, you have other people like Captain Jack, who's now going to make the Pro Bowl for the first time in his career, and wanting probably a contract extension sooner versus later, which means you're going to have to pay him. You do not have a ton of cap currently on the books for next year. And I think we all agree the Lions are going to have to add some pieces to get this team back up to where it was a year ago. All right, before we get into that, before we get into the 5 headlines now, if you didn't know by now, hey, if you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. We are 25 subs away from hitting 15,900. So if you can help out with that, that would be great. Also, if you get a half second of time, free of charge, won't cost you a dime. Hit the thumbs up button, the like button, hit all the buttons. You probably know from watching YouTube that helps every content creator out there. So if you can do that, hit the like, the copy, the paste, the share, whatever it is, all that stuff helps out a ton. Last, never least, if you are considering buying or selling property anywhere in the great state of Michigan, where I live, or the continental United States of America, go ahead and give me a call or shoot me a text, 269-998-2384. If you're looking for someone with over 30 years of experience, try to help you out. Make sure you don't get overcharged, overworked. Yes, unfortunately, there are a whole lot of lenders, banks, financial institutions that you go to get your mortgage that will grossly overcharge you because they know you don't know what you're looking at. So if you want somebody who's going to help you through all that, plus make sure you get a great price on whatever you're trying to buy or sell, then go ahead and give me a call, have a quick conversation. We'll go from there. All right, let's get this show rock and rolling and going forward and kicking off with, if I can get these things on the screen to move around. Yep, everything's locking up right now. Well, apparently they don't want us to run the segue part for 5 headlines now. Let me see if I can, still not working there. All right, well, whatever it may be. Yep, can't get these things to work here. All right, well, we'll just go into it. How about that old school fashion? We'll just read them. All right, Detroit Lions, Dan Campbell dissects dismal defensive stretch by Detroit Lions, story by Josh Aper of Lions Wire. I think we all get it, and if you didn't know, we'll bring you up to speed. Detroit Lions are giving up yards at a pace never before seen in the NFL. The worst defense in the league this year had been the Cincinnati Bengals, giving up just over 400 yards a game. Unfortunately, the Detroit Lions in the last several games are giving up over 500 yards a game. It's been a monumental stretch for this team, and you could argue if the defense had even shown up against the Rams or the Pittsburgh Steelers, Lions probably would have won both games and maybe even comfortably. Unfortunately, injuries have dissected this team. Injuries have cost this team a lot. Yes, you can go into some schematics here. I know the Detroit Lions coaching staff will support themselves to support the players and say, hey, it's not on this person, it's not on that person. It's just a multitude of different things they're factoring in. Here's what I can say from my own eyes. I think you're seeing some of the growing curves of an inexperienced defensive coordinator. He came out with some ideas, repeated with some updated ideas throughout the year, but now teams have adjusted to it, and he just doesn't have the counterpunch readily available to him where he can say, hey, in game, I'm going to make this adjustment. They're showing me this. They're giving me that. The other part is, too, in Kelvin Shepard's defense, you lose 2 of the best safeties in the league in Brian Branch, Kirby Joseph. It's going to impact your ability to call coverage. Where are the Lions mostly getting destroyed on defense? It is in the passing attack. I get the running defense hasn't been great, but I do think as you're trying to offset the losses in your secondary, you're having to move some guys around to areas you do not want to move them to, and that is also double impacting, double wowing the rushing defense. Why the Lions are in this situation, I know some of you are going to say, hey, we got to look at his strength, conditioning trainers, whatever it is. Maybe it's the Ford Field itself. There could be a lot of factors in play here. I'm not sure anybody has a great idea at this time. Could be totally wrong on that. Why the Lions are consistently so beat up. But the Lions this offseason, to many of your points, need to figure that out. Is it just bad luck? Is it this, then the other thing? I don't know. But the Lions need to figure it out so they can actually have players on the field that are impactful. If Brian Branch, Kirby Joseph, Tyrion Arnold were playing, I do think they would have won the last 2 games. I do think we would have a completely different outlook on the season, but that's not the case. It's time to move forward. And in the offseason, if we don't make the playoffs, there'll be a lot of questions that need to be answered. All right, if the Lions were to go all in on a coordinator reset, these are the 2 guys to hire, and their strategy needs to follow. A to Z Sports, story by Mike Payton. This will also come up. I think it's unavoidable at this point that John Morton he's here right now. No disrespect to John Morton. I think he was put in a bad situation. I do think, in trying to be as polite as I can when I say this, when John Morton came in, saw what he no longer had by not having a firm offensive line, Frank Ragnow's retirement. I said this since it happened. I think it was just poorly timed. I don't think it was something Frank Ragnow did intentionally to the Detroit Lions, but I do think when he decided to step down, step back, retire, however you want to word it, that it couldn't have gone any worse for the Detroit Lions. Free agency had passed, the draft had passed. You were left with what you got, unless you were going to make a trade for something. And in my hindsight review of how Morton was calling plays, a whole lot of heavy sets. I think he was doing that to try to help the running game and help protect Goff, even though it didn't make fans happy. MCDC, as soon as he came on as the OC, kind of went away from that for the most part. Got Jameson Williams way more involved. Some of that is because of Laporta's injury, but it's going to raise a lot of questions what you do at the OC in the offseason. Per this report, Brian Callahan from former Texans head coach, not Texans, Titans head coach. Could you bring him in? He is a pretty good offensive mind. I'm not sure he's the greatest fit for Detroit, and I say that just because I haven't studied him enough to be able to have that kind of opinion. Who should the Lions go get? And maybe in the offseason, if they do actually fire John Morton, I'll dive into that more and try to give you guys an honest assessment of the situation. In regards to the defense, if they were to move off Shep, Jonathan Gannon of the Cardinals, I wouldn't mind that at all. I think he does a lot of outside the box thinking. He's somebody who's been in that situation a while. I think he uses parts very interestingly. And because of that, you can catch other teams off guard. I'm not saying he would be a shoe-in fit for the Detroit Lions defense, but I think if you were to move off Shep, and I don't know if they will, I do think that'd be an interesting conversation to have there. The offensive side, there'll be a lot of names thrown out because I do think John Morton, whether it's just Dan Campbell says, hey, we're gonna wish you well, go out of here, or maybe John Morton just saying, hey, I'm not really just here to sit and twiddle my thumbs up in the booth on game day. Whatever it is, I do think that one's going to happen. Shep, we'll have to wait and see where it goes from there. But there'll probably be some other people mentioned for these spots. Detroit, both sides of the ball, does have some weapons. I think the defense needs more weapons. But I got to imagine if you're an offensive-minded coach, you look at everything the Detroit Lions have, and you'll have an offseason to either get Frank Ragnow back, draft somebody for the offensive line, maybe two people, or go out and trade in the offseason for some people to fill in, sort of like the Chicago Bears did, or just draft people, whatever it is. You fix that offensive line, these weapons look pretty dang good. All right. Detroit Lions fans outraged over Jared Goff news. Story by Ian Erickson the Heavy. What is the news, you say? Well, let's start with this. Detroit Lions had a couple people make the Pro Bowl. Not a surprise here. Jack Campbell, we've been debating this for months now. Is he the best linebacker in the NFL? I think that answer is now yes. And if he's not the best, he's top 3 in my humble opinion. Let me know what your opinion is. Gibbs, there's maybe not a badder man on the planet. He's fast. He's all over the place. I know a lot of you guys say, man, if only David Montgomery had been starting. Yeah, have that opinion. I don't disagree with it. I just think Gibbs, the one thing he does have going for him is every time he touches the ball, whether running or a reception, he can score a touchdown. And there's just very few people in the NFL that can say that. He is 1-2 missed tackles away from a house call every time he gets it. Aiden Hutchinson, I know there's some of you that say, man, we overpaid. I disagree, just because if you don't have him, somebody else would have him. And yes, they would pay that. And then we'd have a bigger problem, in my opinion, on the defensive line, because you know what? He's the best player we have on the defensive line. And it's not even close in my humble evaluation. Doesn't have to be your evaluation. If the Lions could ever get somebody of competence and consistency opposite him, I think Hutchinson's numbers would skyrocket. This year, he's got whatever it is, 11 sacks. I think you'd probably look more like 15 to 19 in a given season for him. I don't think he's Myles Garrett. I don't think he's going to be in that conversation. I don't think he's Michael Parsons when it comes to rushing the quarterback. But when it comes to stopping the run, picking off passes, dropping into coverage, and getting after the quarterback, the culmination of things, that's where I think Hutchinson is one of the best defensive ends in the league. Penei Sewell, probably don't even have to talk about. He is generational. He's probably going to be generational for the next 5 to 7 years. But you know what? This guy just doesn't get enough praise. I think because of an offensive lineman, most people outside Detroit just don't pay attention to him. But if you're an NFL fan, a football fan, you watch everything he can do. And the fact that he could be a tight end, a running back, heck, man, he could probably be a defensive tackle or defensive end. Maybe they should play him opposite Hutch. He's just going to be successful because of how he's mentally wired and all of his God-given physical abilities. All right, and then Amon-Ra St. Brown, again, not a big surprise here. He is one of the best receivers in the NFL. He may not have the burner speed some of the other guys in front of him does, but what he does well. He gets open, he catch passes, He runs blocks. There's just no real hole in his game. While we're speaking about all this, let's also bring up this. Safety Brian Branch was a first-team alternative selection for the Pro Bowl, same with Jared Goff. A lot of people surprised by Goff not being in there for the NFC. And I know there's some Goff dislikers in the comment section. That's totally fine if you are among them. There are also some Goff apologists in the comment section. What I can say is stats are stats. Everybody's going to have stats. Yes, we can all debate. If this guy was in the offense, that guy was in the offense, you played him in that offensive system, this offensive system, it'd be different. The only thing we know for sure is what do you do at the end of the year? The fact he's only got 5 picks this season and a bunch of touchdowns while completing a high percent of his passes, what I can say is he's playing against behind an offensive line that's been severely changed since last year. He's taken a ton of hits this year. He's been durable. He's completed things. I think most fans would say last week's loss or even the Rams loss really isn't on Goff. I mean, he did everything he could. I guess I shouldn't say it. Maybe there was some that will still put the blame on him. But anyways, you get it. Kirby Joseph was a 5th-team alternative, and Sam Laporta, 5th-team alternatives as well for you. So Lions clearly have some talent. Where they go from here, how much more talent can they add in the offseason, plus get some of these guys healthy? We'll have to wait and see. But I think it's going to be a very interesting offseason. I'm going to wait to talk about that when we get there in time. All right, next one here. Lions rookie defensive tackle among lowest PFF graded players against Steelers, Detroit Lions, and SI Christian Boer with this one. For those also asking, I do think Anthony of Roar the Lions UK will join us around halfway through the show. But getting to the grades here from PFF. Highest graded offensive players, you can see it obviously on the screen. Khalif Raymond, hey, not elite grade, but not that far off either. And the first gear. So surprised the way he started, and then you watch the rest of the game, didn't show up. Some of that, though, pay attention to how the Steelers schematically schemed for him. Now, I've gone on record saying, no disrespect to Fisker or any of the tight ends on the team. I just want to have him on the field that often, unless it's like some sort of power package. I just think the Lions' strength on offense are both your running backs and your top 3 wide receivers, top 4 if you want to throw in Khalif Raymond. Keep your best players on the field. Don't just get glued to a schematic problem or a schematic principle on offense. To me, I'm not a Lions coach, so what I'm about to say, you have to just take it as my perspective. One thing I do disagree with when it comes to MCDC is setting up formations just because you want that formation. My view, like I just mentioned, I would just keep my best players on the field. It's your job on the other side of the ball, the defense, to stop our best players. And I'm going to keep the best players out there 90-95% of the time. I would think that would be true in any sport. And that's why with Firsker and some of the other tight ends we have, when we roll out there with some of them or bigger packages, and it's like a third and short, second and short, goal line situation or something like that, it just gets me to scratch my head, I guess I could say. All right, lowest PFF graded offensive players, Zylstra and Ricci. So what are we talking about? We're talking about guys that, no disrespect to them, they're NFL players. They're just not the best offensive players for the Lions. So why have them on the field? Obviously, you can see it didn't work out well for them when they're out there. I also want to throw this at David Montgomery and Gibbs. You see their grades aren't great as well. But why is that? Some of that, in my humble opinion, is, again, you're keeping some less than ideal players out there to help block, pass, whatever. And now you're giving the defense an advantage because they don't have to guard better players. My humble view, as I keep stating, keep the both running backs out there. Keep your top 3 receivers out there. Don't even try to have a tight end out there. More or less just go run and shoot. Spread the field out with 3 receivers, shotgun formations, 2 running backs. I think that would force less quality players from the defensive side to be on the field. So now you have the advantage versus giving the advantage to the defense. Christian Mahogany, not surprised by this one. He didn't have a great game by any stretch of imagination. But again, we talked about it during the live cast. There were a ton of times for his first game back or any, I don't care, even if you're all pro offensive lineman, asking that dude or any kind of offensive lineman to go from here and block all the way over here, a blitzing linebacker, that just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, no, I think Christian Mahogany is fairly athletic. I think Penei Sewell's generationally athletic. But are they going to outrun a linebacker or a cornerback on a blitz? My answer is, humbly, as I'm going to say this, no. They're just not that kind of body build to do that. Lions, we've been saying it all year on this channel, at least. I'm sure you guys have heard it on 50 other channels. When their offensive line is at its best, they're man-to-man blocking principles. You're not asking them to do a bunch of stunts, pulls, zone blocking, whatever. There's too much miscommunication with that group, and it's not their strength. Again, play to your strengths or play to your weaknesses. If they're, and I try not to be critical of other coaches. I'm just offering this humble idea. Maybe it's time for the Lions just simply say, hey, skip the schematics. What's the best situation for this positional group and our current offensive packages or defensive packages personnel? All right, as far as lowest graded defensive players and highest graded ones, Jack Campbell, again, on this list. Seems like he's on the list often for the defense. Roy Lopez up there. Thomas Harper, good to see him up there. I did think he had a pretty good game. Derek Barnes kind of bouncing back. DJ Reader kind of bouncing back a little bit. Although Reader, I've not been overly impressed with him as a totality this season. Same with Derek Barnes. Derek Barnes has had some good games. He's had some other games where, again, I think they're asking him to do stuff that's just not really in his wheelhouse. Lowest graded players here. Hey, Meek Robinson, it is what it is. I think you're putting him in some bad situations. Davenport, I think we're all on agreement here in the Duke crew. And when the season comes, let's hope that he doesn't get re-signed. Nothing against him as a person. It just as a player, you're not seeing much out there. Alex Anzalone, maybe his worst game as a Detroit Lion by far, and it's unfortunate, but it seems to be trending that way in the recent weeks. Tyleek the Freak Williams, he's a rookie, so you expect ups and downs with him. I still think he's a pretty good pick. And Avonte Maddox, he missed a few things. He didn't help in coverage a couple times. He got caught out of position on the run a lot, especially setting edges. Gave up a couple of 45-yard runs, or at least played a big factor in the Lions giving up a few of those. 1-2 guys out of position, it's hard for a defense to overcome that. All right, that's it for the grades. And then let's go to the last of the 5 glorious headlines now. Jack Campbell making his first Pro Bowl just made him the Lions' extremely important top extension priority. Here's why. Associated Press by DT. If you can find a better linebacker in the NFL who can play weak side, strong side, middle, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I cannot think of somebody. And this dude is so massive by today's linebacking standards. Think about why the Lions are able to shut down the tush push or other running plays. A lot of that is because of Jack Campbell. You look at when they often leave all 3 linebackers on the field, part of their base package when defending the pass, and don't bring in an extra DB or 2 or 3 DBs. A lot of that is because the Lions linebackers. Jack Campbell's a big part of it. He is pretty dang good in pressuring the quarterback, stuffing the run, dropping into coverage, making the adjustments out there. I mean, he's your quarterback on the field, and he's up there with – I hate saying stuff like this, but, I think we all get Ray Lewis is one of the best linebackers of all time. And look at how he's built. Compare that to Jack Campbell. I think you see a lot of similarities. Look at their shoulder mass. Look at their hips. Look at their waist. Look at how well they can go sideline to sideline, their speed downhill, how they anticipate pass routes. And I'm not going to say Jack Campbell is a Ray Lewis, but I don't think he's too many levels below Ray Lewis. A year or two ago, maybe you could say, it's a reach to call him one of the best guys. But in this season alone, I think he's ascended. I know I've already said this, to be one of the best linebackers, if not the very best linebacker in the league. And I think that's going to be the way going forward. My humble opinion is over the next 3 to 4 years across the National Football League, barring any kind of unforeseen circumstance, Jack Campbell is going to probably become the gold standard and the standard other teams are going to try to replicate in their drafts. They're going to want to get somebody that never comes off the field, that can call the plays, can get after the quarterback, shut down the run, play the pass, whatever it is. That's Jack Campbell. He is a complete defensive player, not a weakness out there. He's a Terminator. He never stops playing as well. Again, in my opinion, over all the years I've covered it, Ray Lewis is just rare that he could do everything. For the Lions, I know a lot of people are going to say Chris Spielman. Chris Spielman, I thought was very good at a lot of things. He just, he made up for a lot of stuff with his, sure will. He wasn't the biggest guy out on the field. Mike Kofer, if he, for those old enough to remember Mike Kofer for the Detroit Lions, different type of linebacker, but kind of the same thing, could do a lot of different stuff. Unfortunately, got injured a lot. Also had the biggest hands I've ever seen on planet Earth. He could go up to other players. Like I remember going up to Ray Crockett's hand, just taking his and totally engulfing his hand and wrist. Dude was just crazy good. But anyways, that's a different story. Jack Campbell, where do you place him in the pantheon of the NFL? I think he's got to be top 3 at the least and maybe number 1 overall. When do you think we'll extend him? I'm thinking it's going to probably be this offseason. If not, he's going to be gone, and drive that price tag up more and more. All right, still can't get things to move around the screen for a video, so it is what it is. So we're just going to say, hey, main topic of the daytime. Well, I know we've already covered this during the opening monologue a little bit, but Dave Montgomery brings up an interesting question, I think, this offseason. Do you trade him? Do you release him? If that's what he wants, do you want to keep him back? And if you keep him, you're going to pay somewhere around $8 to $9 million to retain him. Is it worth it if you're not really going to give him half the reps at running back to keep him? That's, I think, the $1 million question right now for Brad Holmes and Dave Campbell. They're going to have to decide what to do with the cap and how to best move forward with Montgomery or any other players that we could potentially release. What do you think, Duke Crew? Is he here next season? If he's not here, what are you doing with those funds you just now opened up? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. All right, let's get over to you guys in the comment section before Anthony comes on. I do believe he's going to come on and talk to him yesterday. He wanted to try to come on today, but again, work schedules, Christmas Eve, all that kind of stuff. We'll wait and see. All right, Michael, greetings, salutations, Coach Dan, the Duke Crew, exclamation points, one pride, woo, and back at you, Johnny. Good morning, folks. Same to you. What's this about Montgomery? Now you know, and knowing is half the battle. Stephanie, good morning, boys. Exclamation point. I'd hate to see David leave, but I understand he wants to be more involved with the offense. Yeah, I think we all agree with that. Hey, good morning, by the way. Where the heck is everybody? Well, according to your timestamp, it was 6:35 a.m. Yeah, maybe a couple people just aren't on as of yet. He's not going anywhere. Please tell me that, Stephanie. We'll wait and see. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with him this offseason. We'll probably know in a few months. Tori, it's 6:30 a.m. Please give people a few to long in, and it's Christmas Eve. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Johnny, yeah, I didn't think about that. It happens, my friend. Stephanie, Monty posted on Insta last night that something suggesting he'll be gone after the season. A lot of people took it different ways. I understand that, but I do think it's, if you watch his body language on the sideline, he's not as, in my view, as excited to be there as he once was. I get it. He's a player. He wants to play. He wants to be on the field. Detroit Matt, good morning, Duke Crew. I'm not looking into the Monty situation. All he did was like a comment on Instagram. I don't think he is going anywhere, but I do agree he needs the ball, especially at the goal line. I agree with that. And I think that's, Matt, to your point, if you're not going to use him more, are you really going to invest $8 to $9 million a season in him? And that, I guess that's only the brass for Detroit can answer that. Hey, more. Good morning, Coach Dan and the Duke Crew. What a team. What a podcast. Exclamation point. What a time to be a Lions fan. Woo! Dave, can't ask for a better setup for our defense tomorrow. Some backup quarterback that looks bad, really bad. Sorry for JJ, not for us. I do get it. McCarthy's got a fracture, I want to say, in his hand and wrist or something like that. Probably going to be out the rest of the season. So that's the big question. Lions may benefit from it tomorrow and win, but then Minnesota plays Green Bay the final game of the season. So let's assume Green Bay loses this week, Detroit wins. You're going to be asking a lot of the Minnesota Vikings that final week of the season, but you never know. John, what do you got? Okay, bye. Exclamation point. No time for players crying, baby. See ya. We'll see you later. Johnny L. Dave, Dan doesn't start overlooking yet. Yeah, don't start looking at. Well, I don't think we will. We'll at least try not. 5 fingers ready. A, trade him. I pay $9 million a season to a player getting 5 to 13 snaps a game. B, coach, this offseason, what would you do to the team? Whew. What would I do? I guess here's what I'd say. Let's assume for now that we're keeping Dave Montgomery. Let's not worry about that. I would try to talk Frank Ragnow out of retirement. Now, I will still address the center spot in the draft, but now that person doesn't have to play right away. Also means I could probably try to go for like a second rounder, fourth rounder, something like that for the center spot. That would allow me to, A, in free agency, try to go get a pass rusher, or B, number 1 pick. It's got to be somebody who gets the quarterback or a really good corner. One of those two. And if I go corner in round 1, then round 2, the best pass rush available option end. And, if I went with end in round 1, then corner probably round 2. That's my opinion. Probably later round picks, take another running back. Because Dave Montgomery, even if we keep him, he is starting to advance in age a little bit. Will he want to re-sign with the team once his contract expires? Another big question that would have to be answered. All right, Johnny L. I would do the exact opposite of what we did this season. Might be accurate. Steve Rogers, he's getting $9 million. Cut him or trade him for a pass rusher, maybe. Hookadoo, good morning, Duke Crew, One Pride. If they trade Knuckles, I'll be one upset Lions fan. I think a lot of people will feel that same way with an exclamation point. Pat, I do think we need to move off him. That's too much cash and cap for a guy that isn't more involved. That's probably the other thing they would have to consider. That's part of running a team. You can't keep everybody, and as a coach, you can't keep everybody happy. If you're not really going to involve him in the offense, it might be best to move off him. But we'll worry about that in the offseason. Johnny, dang right. Hookadoo. Good morning, Henry and Johnny L. Hassy Madley. Good morning, Coach Dan and the Dooku. Merry Christmas to all of you and my friends and all the fans watching Lions Talk Live. Go Lions. Hopefully having a phenomenal afternoon over in Cairo. Xavier, greetings, salutations, Coach Dan, the Dooku. Hope everyone has a blessed day. Exclamation point. Hope David remains part of this team because we need him. Gibbs and D-Money make a great duo. D-Money needs more snaps. I'm surprised he hasn't gotten more, but it's part of the question of the day, right? Trey, what's going to be a question mark? Look, I think we all like him, but the coaches don't use him. So why keep him or pay him that kind of cash? Take that money and put it into another need. Yeah, there you go. That could be a possibility. Good afternoon, Mr. Hassani, and a Merry Christmas to you and the family. Well said, my friend. Just greetings, salutations, Duke Crew. If D-Money wants out the door, I don't blame him. Exclamation point. It's shameful watching him rot on the sideline. A lot of people feel that same way. I totally get that. 100%. It's just, what are they going to do? Are they going to keep him? Are they going to use him? If they're not going to use him, then it's probably time to move off him. Just happy Festivus to all the rest of us. Well said as a Seinfeld fan, apparently. Coach Rock, good morning, Dooku. Let's get those issues straightened out with this team. I like the way you're thinking. Johnny, right on Jess. Mary, good morning, Dooku. Where is this trade coming from? He's still under contract. Just because he posted his jersey don't mean that he's just stop assuming. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see where this situation goes in the offseason for sure, Queen Mary. Good morning to you, by the way. Jimmy, good morning, Dan and Dooku. I haven't been on here in about a week. I've been in Texas on an extended vacation. Hopefully you enjoy the vacation and forgot about the time changes here. No worries, man. It happens, yeah. Time changes definitely in Texas. I like Texas. Don't mess with Texas. According to the Barbarian, happy holidays, Duke Crew. Coach, you doing a live tomorrow? I'll have to ask the wife. So I'll let you guys know in the morning. I can't say one way or the other. It's not like she loves watching football. She doesn't dislike it. So we'll wait and see what she says. She'll either say yes or no. Put it that way. Johnny L, good morning, Queen Mary. 100%. Hookadoo. Good morning, Gronk. Agreed. We need the facts of what's going on. There you go with the next base point. Hussey Manley, good morning. And Merry Christmas, Hookadoo. Johnny L, Silver Surfer, Cynthia, Henry Moore, Queen Mary, and Big Eddie. All of the above. Queen Mary, good morning. James, yes, we missed your grit 100%, and hopefully you're feeling better well. Let's see. What do you got? Bennett, keep D-Money. Get better strength and conditioning coach and somebody who knows how to put together a complete offensive game plan. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do in all those regards there. I know there'll be a lot of questions that Lions fans will want answers to, but we're going to have to wait to the offseason. I think we all agree on that. Drake, trade him, draft a younger, cheaper running back, take those savings and put in the defensive end, the cornerback or center. Yeah, I can see all that happening. You're probably also going to have to replace Alex Anzalone. So my question is, assuming you don't re-sign Alex Anzalone at least, do you just elevate Rodrigo or do you go after somebody else, either in free agency or the draft? Let me know your thoughts. Johnny, and a good afternoon to you, Mr. Hassanin. All right, says Johnny. Coach Rock, good morning, Hookadoo. But according to Mr. Big, we're waiting coach's time with these hellos that have been going on since day one. All right. Queen Mary, good morning, Hookadoo. Johnny L, Grip Brothers always have my back. Thank you. We do got your back. Hey, the Duke Crew's always got each other's back, right? David, welcome back. Jimmy, happy holidays. Happy holidays to all, by the way. Hookadoo, Queen Mary, and James, Grip morning. Jimmy, Merry Christmas, everyone. And back to you, Coach Rock. Good morning, Hassan Manley. Hope all is going well. Hopefully it is for everybody watching the show. Queen Mary, good morning, Mr. Hassani. Bo Booth, good morning, Duke Crew. Being the talk of the town is a double-edged sword. Woo! You might be right there. France Fernand, hope we run the heck out of Gibbs and Monty these last two games. Does anyone think the Packers can drop both of the final games? I think the Packers are in trouble this week. But, like I was mentioning earlier, I think Minnesota's in trouble. But I think we win that, and the question becomes for them, and I don't know anything really about this, backup quarterback that they have, their third-string guy. So I'm going to just say, let's just say the Lions roast them. Well, what's going to stop the Packers from roasting them in the final game of the season? And maybe there's an answer I'm just not privy to. Johnny L, Merry Christmas to all. And back at you, Troy Maber. Good morning, coach of the Mighty Duke crew. Exclamation point. Let's go, Lions. Woo! And let's see. We got the Jimmy. Thanks, David. 100%. Coach Rock. Good morning, Mary. Got all your shopping done? Let's hope so. Johnny L. Good morning, Rock. Hey, more. Good morning, Mr. Hassani. Bennett, depends on love. Yeah, a lot of it will come down to love for the Packers, for sure. I agree with you there. Big Eddie, at work right now. Thanks for running the show today, Coach. It's a long holiday here. Well, hopefully you get some time off and enjoy the holiday. Coach Rock, Hookadoo, that was wasting, not wanting. Sometimes we're all wanting to be wasting. I don't know. Hookadoo, if he wants to leave, this would remind me of Barry Sanders leaving. Ooh, putting him in the same category as Barry Sanders. Queen Mary, good morning, Bo, Trim, Rock. How y'all feeling this morning? We'll find out. Jess, how many other players will ask for a trade? I bet a few. I can't think of anybody, Jess. I mean, maybe there are some others. I just can't really think of any. Aussie Malley, Merry Christmas to Rocky, Mary Smith, and Queen Mary. Let's see. Lauren, good morning, Coach Dan, and the world famous Duke crew. And back at you. Henry Moore, good morning, my friend, Mr. Hookadoo. Trim Reaper, Merry Christmas, Duke crew. Woo! And back at you. Merry Christmas Eve, Duke crew. Yes, it is the eve of the Christmas. Coach Rock, Mary, thinking I have an ear issue. My balance has been off a little bit. Sorry to hear that. Hopefully it gets better. Queen Mary, yeah, Rock, yes, I was done last week. I'm not trying to be sitting in jail with them crazy people out there. You're not wrong about that. Hey, more. Just sent my daughter out the door to head back to Bristol, Virginia. Well, hopefully she has a good trip. Mr. Nico, what do you got? This offseason will prove where the Lions go from here. The window isn't closed to the Super Bowl unless we shut it. I don't see a playoff this year, but I see a huge offseason shift. Pride crew, 100%. You got to have pride in the crew, right? I'm down with that. Queen Mary, Merry Christmas to my Lions Talk Live brothers and sisters. And back at you. Henry Moore, a very Merry Christmas to everyone in the chat. May your day be blessed and the Lions receive a glorious win. Exclamation point. I think you are correct. Benedict, I agree, Mr. Nico. Johnny L. Well said, Mr. Nico. Conan the Barbarian, Merry Christmas to all and your families. To everybody's family. Coach Rock, I'm ready for 24 hours of Xmas story. It was my dad's favorite movie. I hope you enjoy it. Queen Mary, we need to get that looked at, Rocky. Yeah, get it looked at indeed. Johnny L. Rock, that was a great movie, or should I say a great movie? All right, I'll go with that. Xavier, have a blessed holiday. Mary Smith with an exclamation point. Miles Margaret, happy Festivus. Jess, Johnny L. Eye of the Tiger. You got to have the Eye of the Tiger, right? Hookadoo. Rock, I own that movie. Laughing out loud. I'm guessing a few people do. Troy Matt, third or fourth place schedule, and off season to get healthier, a decent draft to tweak the defense would be fine. I'm confident in the playoffs next season. One pride. I think you're right on all the above there. Susan, in my opinion, we need to win the final games just for the mental aspect of the team. Go into the offseason feeling strong. I'll go with that. Yeah, there you go. Queen Mary, good morning, Henry, and the same to you, brother. And Benedict, Merry Christmas, and hold on Lions. All right, we'll hold on the Lions. Johnny, this is fun. Yes, it is. Coach Rock, True Mary just can't get in till January. Let's see. 5 headlines now coming up. Probably accurate, even if I couldn't get those buttons to work. Coach Rock, wonder why Detroit went away from the two backs alternating. Was Knuckles' knee bothering him? That's a good question. Maybe there was something going on with his knee from last year or something that kind of prevented more usage of him. Christmas is different for me. My mom had a heart attack on the 22nd of December, 23 years ago, and I lost her. Sorry for your loss. Thoughts and prayers for you and the family, my friend. Thank you, Xavier. You as well, brother. Coach Rock, sorry about that, Hookadoo. That's also my daughter's birthday on the 22nd. Well, happy birthday to her. Henry Moore, good morning, everyone. I wish everyone safe travels and happy holidays. Same to you, my friend. Johnny L, sorry to hear that, Hookadoo. Gun guy. Sweep, incoming, Tranny Williams. All right, Hookadoo. Coach Rock, that's the same thing bothering me. Gun guy, take your pants off. Lions Talk Live fan. All I want for Xmas is a W. I think we're all in the same boat as that. You might get one. Queen Mary, love the Christmas Story movie. Yeah, you'll shoot your eye out, right? Jonathan, good morning. Benedict, I'm KJB from Hastings. Holla and Feliz Navidad. There you go. Happy Merry Christmas to you too. Feliz Navidad. Kim, Who can blame D-Money? Question mark. They keep playing Gibbs when he's ineffective with some teams. Play them to their strengths instead of what you just wish would happen. Adjust. Keep adjusting. King SJ, good morning, Coach and Duke Crew. Merry Christmas and happy holidays. Always a pleasure to have you on the show, my friend. And back at you with the holiday blessings. Henry Moore Jr., KJB, shout out from Ionia. Miles Marker, oh, Hugadoo, that's rough. Very sad, bittersweet. My best to you. Well said, my friend. Trim Reaper, would hate the breakup between Sonic and Knuckles. I think most of us would hate it, indeed. See, Coach Rock, if there's an issue with Knuckles on the team, let's get it straightened out. Hate hearing the locker room having issues, if this is true or BS. Yeah, that I don't know. It's suggestive, but it doesn't mean it's definitive. And therein lies the problem, right? Carl, I can't see you. I don't believe in this team at all. D-Money must be used more. Best thing for him as a player is to be traded. We'll see what shakes out. If you can't see me, I don't know why. I show that I'm broadcasting, but maybe there's issues. Same old soup, tardy but present. Always a pleasure to see you, my friend. Gary, Hugadoo, so sorry my parents passed away. This is the first Christmas without them. I don't put up a tree. Not celebrating this year. Hugs to you. Hugs to all of you, by the way. Broski, do you think Monty isn't being used because Monty isn't the same player after the injury? He's not as good anymore. I don't know, Broski. I mean, at least when he's been out there, it looks like he's been pretty effective. Is he still going to run 70-some yarders on every NFL defense? Probably not. But, I mean, the piano man does look strong to me. Green Mary, Hugadoo, sending hugs your way. I lost mine just last year. Heartbroken. It does hit different. Yes, sorry to anybody affected by that. Keitho, man, talking about somebody I haven't seen in a hot second. Good to see you, my friend. I bet after all this money, about to have a field day on Thursday. Let's make that happen. Maybe it'll be a Merry Christmas in the Monty house. Miles Warner, my best regards to you. Very sorry, Gary. Yeah, there you go. Professor Kurt Steele. Merry Christmas, Duke Crew, and back at you, my friend. So remember, trade D-Moen for a left tackle or edge. I don't know what's going to happen with the offensive line. My guess is Taylor Decker is going to retire. Same with Graham Glasgow. If it was me, I would move Panay to left tackle. Maybe Frazier or somebody else would assume the right tackle position. I'd probably keep with Ratledge and Mahogany, at the guard spots. And then if Frank Ragnow comes back, I think you're pretty set. Doesn't mean don't draft, future developmental pieces, but probably move on to edge and some of the defense. To me, the defense has got to become a priority. Let's see. Bennett, thanks, Henry. Young guy, Montgomery is better than Swift. Monty is better than Swift. Gary, what do you got? Gibbs is electric, but he's not a true back like Montgomery. Mistake not using Montgomery. Yeah, I think a lot of us are feeling that same way. Derek, we're not going to have to trade some good players. No two ways about it. Yeah, probably at some point you're not going to be able to keep everyone, right? Trim Reaper, YouTube, Professor Steele, Carl, another person. Hopefully you can see me now. I say trade him and get the best deal now. Now I can see you. And too bad you are not a PA because I'm looking into buying Pennsylvania because I'm buying my first ever home at 67. Yeah, I can try to find you someone in that area, but I do not work in Pennsylvania. Queen Mary, good morning, Professor Me. All right, I'll go with that. Carl, PNO. All right, Queen Mary, good morning, Professor Steele. Merry Christmas, Coach Rock. It is pathetic the way teams pass up and down the field on us. Yeah, we've given up some yards. There's no second guessing that. We've given them up. Man, I think we keep D-Money and find a better strength and conditioning coach, someone who can create a complete offensive game plan. Maybe part of the plan of the offseason. Good guy. Number one scoring offense. Don't forget. Let's not forget that 100%. Professor Kurt Steele, Queen Mary, and Trim Reaper. Good morning. Miles Margaret. Yay for you. That's great, Carl. Yes, 100% there. Hoogadoo. Go back to 50-50 with Monty and Gibbs. Exclamation rate. Carl, no excuses for losing like through. Okay. Brandy Coffee. Go Lions. Merry Christmas, everyone. And same to you. Hopefully you're having a phenomenal day. Hoogadoo. Merry Christmas, Professor. Big D. Carl Rose ain't no one making excuses. No one. Not the coach nor the players. They taking responsibility. The crap they are putting on tape. Yes, I agree. They're taking responsibility for it. Professor Hoogadoo, good morning. Xavier, free agency and draft will help. Exclamation point. Pay Hassanin, put Whiteside in. I'm surprised we haven't seen Whiteside more, but, maybe he's just not doing it in practice. I don't know. That's the one thing I can't answer. Big D, just saying. Coach Rock, not sure if we will score with 22 seconds left if we could have stopped the Steelers from getting a field goal goal injuries to take them all. Yeah, it's possible they could have. Yeah, I just, obviously we don't know. Detroit, I'm full 1,000% believe injuries. Ragnow retiring really hurt us. Yeah, I would say the Ragnow, and again, not that he didn't earn the right to retire or anything like that. I just wish in hindsight he would announce the retirement before free agency or the draft. Then the team would have had a lot more opportunity to do something. I mean, they still drafted some offensive linemen, but I think they could have been more specific with the center position. Big D, agreed. Queen Mary, Coach, can we hire someone to come in and work with Shep, like someone that has knowledge and experience? Yeah. Who was it? When Aaron Glenn was first here as the DC, if you guys remember, they hired Don Capers as, I don't remember what his title was, but it basically was an assistant to the defensive coordinator. Don Capers, don't know, coached in the league for like a gajillion years. Really brilliant zone drop scheme defensive coordinator. And, maybe that's what they'll do with Shep, bring somebody in to just kind of help pass knowledge on to him. I think that's a great idea, Queen Mary. So, sir, good morning, Coach Owen. Back at you. Benedict, word. Hey, word to your mother. Coach Rock, Mary, you mean like Tuna coming in and helping out? Maybe. Dale, if they trade money, it should be for a very good center. I'll also tackle offense for, of course. Yeah, maybe that's what they'll do. We're going to do Grip Morning, Silver Sir, Gun Guy Ragnow coming back. Maybe. We'll find out. I haven't heard anything official, I think, from Frank the Tank. Big D, Grip Morning, Server, Professor Kurt Steele, Captain Jack has been balling. Yeah, Professor, everybody in the Duke crew, where would you rank Jack Campbell in the pantheon of, I guess, at least middle linebackers? If you want to go linebackers as a totality, let me know. But I would think he's got to be pretty near the top. Big D, Professor Kurt, yes, he has. Exclamation point. Benedict, we have a top 5 linebacking crew. Could be true. Big M, Jack is my Lions defensive MVP. He's probably got to be in that conversation. No questions there. Sir, Hookadoo, morning, Big H. Let's see, Jerome, what do you got? I'm thinking same old Lions is starting to set in listening to some Detroit podcasts. Hope not, my friend. I really like where we're at with things. Win one more game, not to be positive Pete all the time, but you win one more game this year, you will have, your 4th straight winning season? That's the first time since the 1950s that's happened. So I try to look at it as a totality. I get we all want the playoffs. I get we all want the Super Bowl. But compared to where it was, baby, I'll take this any day. Look at it. Goff is my QB. Oh, yeah, I'm going with that. And I get some want to go off him. Like the question I always ask, and you guys have heard it a billion times, if you move off Goff, who can you guarantee to the franchise you can bring in that you can actually acquire, not just say, hey, we're going to go get, Joe Burrow. We're going to go get, Lamar Jackson or something. Those teams aren't giving up those quarterbacks unless you just pay a king's ransom. But if you get off them, who do you bring in? And if you say draft, man, the draft is as 50-50 a crapshoot on a quarterback as it can be. So anyways, hey, more. Good morning, Professor Steele, Cynthia. Good morning, all. Exclamation point. Don't understand why D-Monty doesn't play more. Me too. Professor, we may have our starting offensive line for the final 2 games. Could be. Maybe. Could be. Let's see, Dale. Those who hate Goff need to have their head checked, and is how much air is in there. They also spewing hot air. And I get maybe thinking get better in Goff. It may be possible. I just don't know who that clear win that would take the quarterback position to a higher level, be more athletic and ever. How do we get that person and know that they're going to be better while not giving up, 29 first-round picks? Dale, measure of air quality, that is. It happens, my friend. Coach Rock, seems like Lions players are like DDI. We need some bubble wrap for them. We've gotten pretty beat up in the last few years. Hookadoo, good morning, Cynthia. Merry Christmas, Broski Bear. Agony isn't a starting caliber player. All right, fair enough. I don't know. I guess we need to see more before I can jump on that. Last year, I thought he was pretty good. This year, I thought he was pretty good. Last game, though, not so much. But I do wonder how much that is asking him to do stuff that's just not in their wheelhouse. Henry Moore, good morning, Cynthia. Merry Christmas. Big M, I don't know what happened, but they have done Montgomery wrong. Huge part of the Lions offense, sad and a dang shame. I'll go with that. Detroit, I'd personally trade Monty. Use the money for contract extension. Gibbs is elite. Go find an okay running back number 2. Maybe they think they've already got somebody. Okay, this one we're going to move on from. Gun Guy, Williams only threw for 200-plus yards one time this season. Laughing out loud, Goff made Ben Johnson. It's very clear. Defense is the only good thing on Bears. All right, we'll go there. Cynthia, good morning, Henry and Hookadoo with an exclamation point. Dale, Coach Broski, he has only 8 months under his belt. All right, we'll go with that. Broski Bear, Lions franchise started when Ben arrived and ended when it left. I don't know about that, Broski, just because, I hate being the conspiracy theorist, Broski, but since you've opened up this can of worms, I'll go there. In my humble opinion, and I hate bringing this up all the time, the schedule, but in my humble opinion, if the Lions don't get some erroneous calls in so many of these games, I think the Lions have like 11 wins right now. So the Pittsburgh Steelers game, I think we all get the Tesla pass interference OPI wasn't even an OPI. He got blocked in it. That changes the game. I think the Lions win. I'm not going to say the Lions would have won the LA game. I do think the Philadelphia game you would have won. So those two games alone, now you're sitting at 10 wins with 2 games to go. Don't even get me going on the Kansas City game. I think we all get my opinions on that at this point. The NFL can call down to wipe off a touchdown on the Lions opening drive, but then somehow they don't see DK Metcalf punch a fan. They don't see every other kind of OPI or whatever else call that they could obviously override from New York, but then they choose not to. They only seem to call down to the field to take away things from Detroit. I know Nate Burleson, if you guys didn't catch the show yesterday, Nate Burleson works for Good Morning America, works for CBS covering football. Former player. Yes, he did play for the Lions. He played for lots of other teams too. And per him, if you guys go back and check out the comments he offered, he ain't ever seen anything like it until he came to Detroit. And he's not the only player. There's a whole lot of people in the Hall of Fame as players and coaches. They have reiterated, basically, without paraphrasing Nate Burleson's comments. It ain't like this in any other franchise. It's only Detroit. My humble opinion, I've shared ad nauseum with you guys. It wasn't like this before 2007. Something clearly changed in 2008. You already heard my theory on it. Roger Goodell got his butt real hurt when the Lions won a battle to keep the Thanksgiving Day game, showed him up, made him look kind of, in his opinion, deflated. Because of it, anytime he can put it on the Lions, he's going to. That's just my opinion. Doesn't have to be your opinion. Silver, something is going wrong way in Detroit. Can't put my finger on it. Perhaps Campbell has pushed a team hard for years, and the team is getting tired and watching games squandered by his decisions. Could be a combination of things, to your point, Silver. I would use the Lions, and let me know your guys' thoughts on this. I would look at last year's 49ers team and compare it to this year's Lions team. The 49ers didn't win nearly as many games as the Lions did this year. But you think about all the injuries, changes, and stuff like that affected them. This year, they're right back in a legitimate threat to win the Super Bowl. I think the Lions should be in the same package next year. At least that's definitely my hope. Let's see. Hurley, what do you got? I will lose all the respect I have left for this team if they do trade him. We'll see if they do. I don't know if they're going to. We'll see. Big Merry Christmas, everyone. Hope everyone has a wonderful Christmas. Good. God bless, and God bless you too. Huggadoo. Coach Ron. Some have a sticker on the fragility, like on Christmas. Yes, sticker on them like fragility. Yes, yeah. It must be French, right? I like on Christmas story, laughing out loud. It's French. It is French indeed. Young guy, where are you getting those stats? We'll find out. Phil, Ben Johnson was hired as an OC. He was? Wasn't hired as OC. No, I want to say he was a tight ends coach originally. Thomas, it's an absolute disgrace if Knuckles is not being used, and one of the reasons we struggle on offense. Lauren, Reader was on X telling fans to, all right, it happens. Let's see, Thomas, first and foremost, Captain Jack is a stud, exclamation point. But the reason why he's exploding and tackles is because our D-line has played horrific. Could be a combination of things for sure, man. Coach Rock, that's true, but I will be stepping aside now if it's the start of the Bears show. Okay? No Bears show here. Cynthia, Shep is not a situational coach yet. All right. Yeah, the joke of the chat is here. Thomas, I dump Davenport right now, give his slot to a men and let him loose. Maybe they will. Detroit, Dr. Detroit, guys, we're good. We have Campbell. Nobody can run on us. He is up there with Ray Lewis. Hey, I like him, but I'm sure you remember, Dr. Detroit, when the Baltimore Ravens lost some of their pieces in front of Ray Lewis, that affected Ray Lewis's performance. Football, and I mean, Dr. Detroit, you may be completely new to football with a comment like that. Football is very much a team sport. And if you lose one or two players, it affects everyone on the team. Gun guy. Only one game over 250. Shake my head. Look it up. He's a bottom tier quarterback. All right. I love you, Dan, with this stretch. I don't think so. I mean, you can have your opinion, Dr. Detroit, for sure, man. I just think, and like I said, I don't think Jack Campbell is Ray Lewis, but I think he's a notch or two below. And I think he's going to continue to ascend. I don't think he's hit his peak yet. Let's see, Dale. Thomas, you're exactly right. Queen Mary, everyone, every time I see the name, I get a headache. Yeah, a lot of consistency there. Grinder, O-line issues. Let Zettler go. Now Montgomery wants out. Let Craig Reynolds go. Not good for sight. All right. Thomas, totally just disagree with the take on Alex. If you watch the tape, those are outstanding throws and outstanding catches, and the quarterback got 4+ seconds throw. Could be right. So yeah, good morning, Queen Mary. Exclamation point. Thomas, Ali McNeil, stop with the ignorance of playing him at defensive end. That's not who he is and what he's for. All right. Boom. Thomas, that's something I agree. AA is getting a bum rap. Silver Server. Not one time. No, one time Lions have worn their uniforms this year at home. Blueberries, black, and even white. What are you telling? You don't like your own colors. Okay. Professor Steele, boss up, ball up, flying Lions Talk Live, our pregame show. Vincent E., good morning. Coach Dan, the Dooku, Merry Christmas. Back at you. Queen Mary, good morning. Cynthia, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, says Dr. Detroit. If I can get that dang button. Hey, there we go. Sorry. AA is a player and played well for all year long. So sad to see him go. It's possible. I don't know if they'll not resign him. I just don't know if they will. And Tylenol doesn't cure it, Queen Mary. All right. So the Trim Reaper. Hail to the Lions Talk Live Queens. Phil, this has to be tough for the core players to watch this team slide into the lower tier teams after the glory days with these players. You know what I would say is it's tough for any franchise to win 3, 4, 5, 18 years in a row. I mean, typically teams, even if they go up, they do have a little bit of a spike back before going back up. In my humble opinion, I do think the Lions win one more game, probably 2 more games. So let that sink in. Let's assume it's 2. That's 10 wins. And in 4 straight years, you've won 9, to 15 games. That's tough to achieve, especially as your schedule keeps getting tougher and tougher. You get players that require more and more funds to keep. You have to keep drafting well. Some players do retire. Well, obviously, we've seen that this year. And that's part of the difficulty of maintaining. But I do think there's some things the Lions could have done differently this year, but you can probably say that about every season, right? Dale, BB, just like blowing smoke and giving rim jobs. Okay. Brian Branch, I don't know. Queen Mary, Professor Steele, thumbs up. Dr. Troy, blow out what we can't use and get some cap space for what we need. Hey, there you go. Coach Rock, I just want to say Merry Christmas to all and a Happy New Year. Back at you, my friend. Miles Parker. To all my fellow widow/widowers, I wish you happy memories this holiday season. 100%. Well said, Miles Martin. Well said. Thomas, I was chastised here on this channel when we drafted Sonic and Captain Jack. I absolutely elated, knowing in my mind we just picked up 2 absolute game changers. Thank God we did. Yeah, I agree with your assessment there. Professor Kurt Steele, Lions are not going to blow up their roster. Probably not. Gun guy, not one 300-yard game. Silver Server, good morning, Mary, and merry day before Christmas. It is the merry day before Christmas. Jen, morning all, exclamation point, Merry Christmas, go Lions. Cynthia, I hope everyone has a great Christmas. Keep the reason for the season in your hearts. Ooh, well said. Dr. Troy, I didn't say blow it up. I said blow out. Okay. Let's see. Merry Christmas, Miles Martin. I don't even see that, Dr. Troy. That happens, man. Silver Surfer, rock praying and a tree, and to you. Mary Smith, thank you, Silver Server, and the same to you, my brother. Dale, well, here in the Philippines, it's 8:25 p.m., and Christmas spirit is high, and carolers are out. Merry Christmas, all, and to all, a good night. Hopefully, you have a phenomenal day, my friend, both today, tomorrow, and going forward. Professor Kurt Steele, D-Mo still under contract for 2026. That is correct. Troy, I think we need to get rid of player who has underperformed and aren't using. Yeah, if we're not going to use him, if that's really the plan going forward, I can see why they would potentially trade him, release him, or whatever. Just because, if you're not going to use him, he's going to want to have an opportunity somewhere else. Marshawn, don't leave us, Dave Montgomery. Exclamation point. Lions, give him what he wants. We need him. All right, we got about. I'll have to go into overtime here, but just a couple minutes left. Let Let me try to get some people on who haven't been on as much. Alex, do not David Montgomery for what you're not paying. Play me or trade me. But I guess we're going to blame Brad Holmes for that too. Could be. Arguing with himself, says Trim Rira. Dr. Detroit, I am fine. I called it a season, laugh not loud. How are you guys doing? Super Bowl still in the sight? I hope so, my friend. Until there's no chance, I'm going to say there's a chance. Phil, would Monty go back to the Bears? Maybe. I don't know. Rock and Rob, I think me and my majority of other people do not care about the next 2 games for the Lions. Our season's over, so why should we even care about what they do for the season? I care, but that's just me. I'm a fan. I'm going to watch every game. If I can survive some of the last 30 years, then you know what? Having a chance to have a 10-win season, that works for me, man. Coach Rock Dale, I love the Philippines and the people there. Merry Christmas. 100%. Well said, my friend. Cynthia, good morning. Trim, Big M, Phil, probably a good possibility. Makes sense for him to go play under Ben. Yeah, could be. Professor Goodsteele, Frazier can play right tackle, Panay Sewell left tackle, and draft a center. I like the way you're thinking, my friend. Hookadoo, I'd like to visit the Philippines. I think so, too. Coach Rock, you enjoy Hookadoo. Phil, is it true that the team told Ahmed's dad to stop talking to these podcasts? Not that I'm aware of. Can the team do that to a family member of teams? No, I don't think they could. I don't think they would try, but who knows, right? Dr. Detroit, yes, the team can suggest when they hold your kid's future in their hands. The Trim River, Doctor, it's all in the building? Hey, it's all in the building. Thomas, I poked the like y'all. Thank you for that. Sir, Professor Goodsteele, morning professor, sounds good. But who knows if Frazier is a starting left tackle? Over the team, we'll figure that out. Hope Manu pans out, but not sure at all. Drafting 2 offensive linemen and signing a starter would be okay with me. Any more? It's been 2 years with way too many injuries. Need better conditioning coaches. Byron, can you blame Monty for wanting to leave? They are not playing him. Yeah, I get it. What you're saying there, 100%. David, keep Demon Maker more use of him. More 2-back sets in the offense, even if that makes Gibbs a decoy a lot of time, or it makes the demonic decoy a lot of time. Keep him and use him. We'll see if we do that. Dennis, good morning. Dan, the Duke Crew. This schedule has shown what we are lacking. Go Lions. It maybe has exposed a few things, and, you're going to have to make some adjustments based on it. Phil, who is in more trouble, Green Bay or Detroit? Well, it's Green Bay's to lose, I guess what I'd say, Phil. They win one, they're in. So the pressure's on them to win one of these final 2 games. Detroit obviously has to win 2 to get in. Dr. Detroit Thomas, don't have an opinion. Trim Reaper will knock you for it. It happens, man. Dennis, good morning, all. Merry Christmas, all. Back at you. Phil, all of a sudden players don't want to be on this team. First time that's happened. And it will happen. Things go in cycles. Let's see, Pierce. And did anyone see how much the punch cost DK Metcalf before the lawsuit? That I did not. Big M, Coach Dan, do you think MCDC lost or is it losing the locker room? I don't know. I would think not, but one never knows. Rock and Rob, quoting Willie Walker in The Lions, you lose, you get nothing. Good day, sir. I do love that movie. The original one, that is. Johnny Gas Sports. Happy holidays, Duke Crew. Exclamation point. What should Santa bring the Lions next Xmas? Ooh, that's a good question. William, Merry Christmas to all of you. Have a safe and blessed day. Exclamation points back at you, my friend. Jess, Merry Christmas, Coach. And to all of the fans on the channel and our beloved Lions. Like Coach says, be kind to someone. Have a great holiday. Go Lions. Well said, my friend. Spoke you some. Man, talking about somebody I haven't seen the hot side. Doctor, the slappies will never learn. Hey, I like being a slappy. I like being positive, Pete. Some people don't. I do. Let's see, Ron, Die Hard, favorite Christmas movie. I know we will be watching that tomorrow, amongst others, for sure. Let's see, Ron, greetings, salutations, Coach Dan and Duke Crew. Same to you, Silver Sir, Monty, Motor City Paulie. I can't believe everyone is talking about too much cash. It's backup money at many positions, and those guys almost never play. Yeah, could be indeed. You bet, says Silver Server. Phil, have the Lions been cherry-picked so much the staff is not what it used to be? Yes, I'd say that's fair to say. Front office makes a difference, too. It does indeed. Sergeant, Silver Server, thanks. Leonard, seems like Coach Campbell is losing or possibly lost the locker room. Question mark. Something seems different this year with the players. Yeah, they've had expectations of winning. They haven't won as much as they like. I think it has an effect. Want to say, Paulie, no loyalty here. Jay, Merry Christmas to you, Coach, and the Duke Crew. And exclamation point, and back at you, my friend. Professor Kurt Steele, Silver Server. I agree on the depth point, but most teams have struggles with starting tackles get hurt. I would think you are fully right with that, my friend. Jordan Raber, all fans have their Swaties. Okay. Phil says thumbs up. Hey, what's this? What's he doing? Praise Jesus Christ, even if you're a sinner. Hey, thank you for this. Thank you for this. I will enjoy a delicious Mountain Dew, maybe a hot dog. So let's see if I can get anything to pop on the screen. Still can't get a load, so I can't give you a 1, 2, 3 woo, but I can give you a. Yeah, for right now it's locked up, so I can only get the buttons that are showing. I can't scroll down to get other buttons. Xavier, Lions 42, Vikings 10. I like the way you're thinking. Isn't my contract running out after next season? Remember, sorry for your loss, Philip. Yeah, 100% there. Queen Mary, agreed, Professor. Rockin', all I want for Christmas is a real Lions team. Hey, we'll see if we can get it. Kim, all I want for Christmas Lions to play the whole game. Cannot win playing 3 quarters. You're probably right with that. Whiskey, I'm pretty new in my faith and fallen after, but God does not forsake us. No, indeed. Indeed. Phil, isn't it weird to re-sign Monty and then not use him? It did seem a little something. Yeah, for sure. Whiskey, if you're a believer, please pray for me. We'll all pray for you. Praying. Let's see. Trum Reaver. Captain Jack is the best in the game at his position. Xavier, Goff, Queen Mary. Coach, in my opinion, we have a great coach, Campbell, but as we all know, nothing stays the same. But we all know if you keep moving forward, you don't go through, nothing won't learn nothing. Yes, got to keep moving forward. I mean, to your point, Queen, look at how dominant, say, the San Francisco 49ers were in the 80s and 90s. Things change because a multitude of reasons. Same with Dallas Cowboys, same with the New England Patriots. It's hard to maintain. The NFL system is designed to bring good teams back down to the pack. Let's see, Ryan. Coach, can we still make the playoffs if the Bears lose their final 2 games and Green Bay loses 1 game? Oh, is that a fact? Okay, I didn't know that. I knew if Green Bay lost both and we win both, we can get in. I didn't know about the Bears. How can I do? Happy Trails, Duke Crew, One Prime Worldwide, and Broski, enjoy your lump of coal. Byron, Lions supposed to win Eagles game, Chiefs game, and Steelers game. I agree with all that. Roger is a bad guy. Smoke you some has anointed. Let's see. Just Campbell is more Kuechly or Uglocker than Lewis. All right, or Urlacher. Sorry. All right. I'll go with that. I compare him to Ray Lewis in my book, but that's me. Here you go. Ben Johnson chokes when the time matters, broski. You'll learn that soon. Gary, so does Caleb. Silver. Coach Rock and Rob. Let's just say it's a heck of an OC and play call. I think Dan might have worn this team down. That is my biggest fear regarding Detroit Lions. Queen Mary, have a blessed and safe day to all. Merry Christmas. Back at you, Queen. Remember, that guy has a heart too small. All right. Lauren Lions, Merry Christmas, everybody. Exclamation point. Take care. See you tomorrow. Go Lions. Woo! Back at you. Rich, why doesn't everybody understand that the amount of injuries is starting to certain people of the Detroit Lions the past 2 years? I am sure to have broken the NFL record. I'll have to check on that. Let's see. See you, Lauren. Jess. Demo will be fine. He's just butt hurt right now. He has 775 yards and 8 TDs. It's not a bad season, actually, considering everything. Big M, 10 wins is respectable. Barely 500 or below is unacceptable for all the talent on this team. I'll go with that. Rock and Rob, we will not be able to beat the Bears. The worst running team in the league ran on us like crazy last week. We won't be able to stop the Bears running game. Let's hope you're wrong with that. Pat, great morning, and back at you, 313, from the 313, baby. Yes, you are from the 313, and hopefully having a good holiday season. Kerry, we stopped the Bears once. We'll do it again. Let's hope so. Dole Dynamite, what the heck, Super Bowl not in sights this year? People delusional. I like being delusional sometimes. See, Josh, we need to ostracize the people from Lions fandom, maybe. Howard, Dave Montgomery runs for more yards in the last 2 games. We just quit using him. He is our. Yes, indeed. David, regarding trade sentiment, that ain't the Bernstein advantage. Ain't on Applebee's menu either. Focus on Super Bowl. Retain Knuckles. We'll see if we can retain him. All right, Keitho, same with Lions fans are out and about. Happens Detroit. Just want to see the Lions get to the Super Bowl before I die. I think we're all in the same boat there. Kerry, Bears Super Bowl is definitely delusional. 3-on-3, whoever believes in this team as long as Goofball is quarterback needs to be drug tested. Fair enough. Josh, server, of course. It's called a lack of talent. It's pretty simple. The youth needs to grow and vets return from injury, not rocket science. Hassan, Merry Christmas, Cynthia. 3-on-3, Trim Reaper is smiling. It's Phil. We watched Die Hard last night. Yeah, well, I save it for Christmas Day myself. And I love that movie, man. And all right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, get you over the boss up ball out. We're already in overtime. So as it is, If you would be so kind before departing, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit all the buttons. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Do something kind for somebody you don't know. Be a good human being. Merry pre-Christmas to all. Have a happy Festivus for all the rest of us. And we'll see you guys all on the next Lions Talk Live. Take care.